What's going on, everybody? Meteorologist Frank Gaetano here for our daily hail forecast, as always, sponsored by C3 Group, Merlin Law Group, American Contractor Show, and Atlas Roofing. Make sure you check those guys out in the description to this video. Before we get into the forecast, I'm actually going to have Justin come on here and talk a little bit about Hail Choice 4.0. So come on over, Justin. Why don't you give it a talk?
All right. What's going on, everybody? I'm Justin Hughes. I'm the marketing and partnership coordinator with us. I'm sure a lot of you have seen me out and about. We have a lot of cool stuff coming up. This summer, we are going to be launching Hail Choice 4.0. It's going to have some improved features. One of the features that we're highlighting this week is actually going to be getting an impacted client report sent to you straight to your email. There's going to be no more having to go in and downloading that list from the website. We're just going to make it easy for you. We're going to send you an email. We're going to tell you exactly how many of your contacts were impacted, and we're just going to shoot you an email. I believe it will be in a CSV file. So you can go ahead and download that, and you'll be able to access those contacts immediately. So that is something that we're pretty excited about. There are a ton of other new features that we're going to have, and we'll be promoting those as we get closer to launch. We will probably announce a launch date later on in July. So just make sure that you're keeping up with our forecast, our emails, social media. We will be plugging this stuff all summer long, and you will want to be very engaged in this stuff because it will be a big change, but these changes are going to help you down the line to make more money. So like I said, just pay attention. We will be marketing stuff every week. We have a lot of cool stuff coming up. So I'm going to go ahead and get Frank to come back up here so you can actually get the forecast, which what you tuned in for. So
yeah, let's give the people what they really want. All right, here we go. Okay, getting into our weather headlines for today. We got storms on the East Coast, so hail and wind chances from New York down through the mid-Atlantic states on the East Coast. And then we're going to go back to the plains for tomorrow. We have storm chances in the Central Plains going on tomorrow. I'll talk a little bit about that. And it's been really hot across most of the country, but there is some relief coming for the Central Plains at the end of this weekend. So we'll talk about that towards the end of the video. As always, let's get into our events. So we do have the TAMCO 50th anniversary event that's going to be in Denver on June 23rd. That would be, what day is that? What's today? So it's tomorrow. Yeah, okay. So it's tomorrow, 5300 East 43rd Ave. So it's going to be in Denver on tomorrow. So there's going to be food, games, customer appreciation event for their 50th anniversary. And then also going on tomorrow, we have the Lunch and Learn event in Grapevine, Texas. That's going to be at 1901 South Main Street. So make sure you head out to that as well down in Grapevine. So we did have some storm reports come in yesterday. We'll take a look at those real quick. Nice swath of some wind reports coming in through the plains up through the upper Midwest. And we had a landspout tornado report come in just south of Dodge City, Kansas. So the scattering of wind reports through Iowa and then up into Wisconsin. And then we'll go into our current conditions. I didn't save the tag on that, so that went a little quick. So we're going to zoom in here to the East Coast. We have a low pressure system right off the coast here. It's going to be retrograding westward today. So we do see some rain associated with that, but that's not where the severe weather risk is going to be. It's going to be a little further west through southern New York, Pennsylvania, and moving southward into the mid-Atlantic states. And we also have a stalled out cold front over the Central Plains through Kansas, right near the Kansas-Oklahoma border. That could be the focus for some storms later on today into this evening as well. So we'll get into that in a bit, but let's take a look at the temperatures. Hot across the southeast, hot in the southern plains, and those temperatures are going to continue to go up through the central and northern plains right now. Right now we're sitting around the 70s, but temperatures are going to get into the 90s and into the hundreds in the southern plains and into the southeast. And there's a lot of moisture to go with that heat, as we do see really high dew points, 70 there in Wichita, only 65 in Dallas. That will go up, but we do see a nice swath of moisture coming through the southeast, up through the Ohio Valley, and into the mid-Atlantic states. So we are going to see some storm activity associated with some of that moisture. Here's the future radar for today along the East Coast. So we're starting out at noon. Let's move forward here. This is around 3:30 p.m., so 4:30 p.m. East Coast time. And we do see storms starting to pop up in Pennsylvania, and those are going to be working their way southward throughout the day. And we also see storms popping up through West Virginia. And if I move back a little bit here, we have a couple of clusters of storms that are going to be popping up in the northern Kentucky area. So Louisville, you do have a slight chance of seeing some gusty winds with those storms later today. And we do see more storms forming and going southward through the mid-Atlantic states through the evening hours, but those will die off once we get into late evening and overnight hours. So the risk should be over by about midnight on the East Coast. So we're going to work our way back to the plains. I mentioned that cold front that stalled out over Kansas and Oklahoma. That's going to be the focus for some scattered thunderstorm development this afternoon and evening, as we do see some storms popping up here in southern Kansas and northern Oklahoma. And those are going to approach the Wichita area as we get later on into the evening. So this is showing it at 8 p.m. right now. So that's storms in the Wichita area around 8 p.m. this evening, and then those storms are going to die off as we get later on into the evening. So probably 3 or 4, 5 hours of storm chances around the Oklahoma-Kansas border tonight. So we'll see how that pans out, if we can get some golf ball size hail out of that. And then I mentioned California in the video description. We have some shower activity going on in California, and could see some strong gusty winds associated with that in the Fresno area and the San Joaquin Valley area. So not really too often you see storm-related severe weather going on in California when it comes to winds. So I thought that was kind of neat and of note that we do have an actual storm risk in California today. And we'll let this play out going through the evening. More storms forming near the Fresno area as we get into late evening and overnight hours. Here's our hail forecast for today. We're going to take a look at what this looks like graphically as we zoom on into the East Coast. Hail up to $half size is possible for places like State College, Pittsburgh, Charleston, West Virginia, the D.C., Baltimore area, all the way down to Richmond. Our moderate chances are going to be more located in the State College southward area to D.C., Baltimore, and Richmond. And the further west you go, those chances are going to go down. So we do have marginal chances for Pittsburgh and Charleston. We're going to work our way to the west here to take a look at the risk for the plains. Pretty low chances, since we didn't really see too many storms popping up this evening, so they might be pretty widely scattered or isolated. So fairly low chances for Dodge City and Wichita. We'll have to see if the storms actually do make it to Wichita before the evening hours set in and they start to wane in intensity. But hail up to golf ball size is possible for that area. We're going to take a look at our wind forecast for today. We're going to look at the East Coast first. Pretty much the same area, but we do have the risk going a little further west. So Louisville, you are included in that risk. Charleston, you're included once again. Both low chances for those areas. And then moderate chances for pretty much everywhere else, except for when you get far north into Syracuse, New York. So moderate chances for Pittsburgh, State College, D.C., and Richmond. And then, again, those storms should wane by about midnight tonight. And then back over here to the Central Plains, it's the same story, moderate or low chances for Dodge City and Wichita with those isolated storms this evening. And then we'll go over to California. The only real place of note in California that's at risk today is Fresno. So low chance for Fresno for gusty winds, potentially up to about 60 miles per hour with those storms. We're going to take a look at the radar for tomorrow's risk area. So we're going into the Central Plains, and we do see storms starting to pop up around 5, 6 o'clock in the North Platte area, as well as just to the northeast of Hays, Kansas, on this particular NAM run. And if we let that play through, we see the storms clustering up in Nebraska and working their way towards the east before going down in intensity overnight as they approach the Lincoln, Omaha area. And we also saw some storms moving to the southeast towards the Topeka and Salina, Kansas area. So those are the areas we're going to see at risk for tomorrow. there. And if we go northward up to the upper Midwest, see storms starting to pop up around 5, 6 o'clock, and they get intense around 7 p.m. This is near the Alexandria, Minnesota area. We do see a couple storms popping up down here. Those weren't on most of the runs, so we're going to take that with a grain of salt right now and see how that plays out. I think the main risk area for tomorrow in the upper Midwest is going to be right here from Fargo down to about the St. Cloud area in Minnesota. And we'll let this play through, go through the rest of the evening. You do see another storm or two popping up here in the overnight hours, and then things will wane as we head towards the morning hours for that area. And then we have one more area to look at in Montana as we see storms start to pop up around the 7, 8 o'clock time frame across central Montana. Those storms could get as far back as the Helena, Montana area if we work our way westward with those storms popping up there. It's not showing it here. The previous run was, so I'm including them in the risk as well. So anywhere from Helena, Montana up through the Glasgow area, we could see those storms producing some gusty winds tomorrow evening into the overnight hours in Montana. We'll let that play through as storms die off during the overnight and morning hours. So what's that going to look like for our hail forecast for tomorrow? Well, we got two areas highlighted. I think the Montana risk is going to be mainly wind, so we'll zoom on in to the central plains here. North Platte, you have a moderate chance. Salina, Kansas, you have a moderate chance for seeing hail up to about golf ball size. We'll see what the instability looks like once we get into tomorrow. Those hail sizes could go up to potentially 2 inches to tennis ball size if we do get enough instability in the atmosphere. But right now I'm going with golf balls. Same thing for the upper Midwest. The only town of note here is Alexandria. The St. Cloud area is just outside the risk area, so low end chance for Alexandria to see hail up to golf ball size tomorrow. We'll get into our wind forecast now. I do have Montana included in the wind forecast, but we'll go back to the same places first. I included a couple of different cities just to keep it fresh. We got Kearney, Nebraska, moderate chance to see winds 60 to 70 miles per hour with those storms, and then low chances for Goodland as you might be just a little bit too far west, and Topeka as you might be just a little bit too far to the southeast for those storms to be at their maximum intensity when they get to your area. And there really wasn't another town to select here, so I'm going with Alexandria again, a low chance for those gusty winds of 60 to 70 miles per hour with those storms. And then we'll work our way over to Montana, and like I mentioned, Helena, Montana, a low chance for you, and same thing for Billings. So this is all for wind gusts 60 to 70 miles per hour with those storms. All right, so let's take a look at what's going to be happening here in the future. So here's where we are right now. This is the low that I mentioned earlier, right off the east coast. That's going to be retrograding towards the west as we move this forward. And we do still have this ridge here and nice little shortwave trough. This is going to be a focus for some more storm development going into today and tomorrow as we see another trough start to build in for Thursday. And then in Friday, we see another shortwave come in. This is where we're going to be seeing the severe weather on Friday, anywhere from the northern plains down into the central plains, including the upper Midwest. But we're still really hot here in the south as we see that ridge building in even stronger. So we're looking at temperatures on Friday and Saturday in excess of 100 degrees from all the way from Kansas down all the way through Texas. We could see up to about 105 here on Saturday in Oklahoma City. So we're talking really hot temperatures, but there is going to be some relief. There's going to be a cold front associated with this trough here that's going to be pushing to the southeast. It's not going to make it all the way off the coast, so we are going to still be very hot in the southeast, so temperatures in excess of 100 degrees in the southeast. But anywhere from Oklahoma City north, we'll be seeing temperatures down to the mid-80s, which isn't fantastic, but I mean, it's almost July. We can't really ask for much more than that when it's been 90 plus for a couple of straight weeks now. So there is a little bit of relief on the way for this heat as we move this jet stream forward. And then we're going to go into Monday, and we're going to be seeing temperatures in the 80s on Monday as well. Stay in contact with us. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. We are at HailTrace for all of those. If you want to get in direct contact with us, you can call us at 855-334-4245. You can email us at info@hailtrace.com, or you can go straight to our website, www.hailtrace.com, for more info about who we are and what we can do for you. For Hail Trace, I'm meteorologist Frank Gaetano. Everybody have a great rest of your Wednesday.